And welcome back to Frugal Gamer. Now, today I wanted to talk about the 5 rich habits. Now, when I say the 5 rich habits, what I mean by that is these are habits that people who are actually successful end up doing every single day. I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of these, and I'm going to try to go into detail about these, a little bit more detail than I usually do. But, number 1 is going to be goals. Now, when I say goals, what I mean by that is these successful people, Gary Vaynerchuk, Simon Sinek, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Oprah Winfrey, friggin' whoever you look up to, you will notice that every single day, they will write goals. They will review them. They update them. And that's how they achieve them. So let me go into a little bit more detail. For writing your goals, when you are writing your goals, remember to make it to where it is very general. Now, if there's something a little bit more specific and you've already gotten that ball rolling, it's good to have more specific goals. But when it comes to you little guys, listen up. Writing your goals, make it very general. The reason that you want to make it general is because you never know what's going to happen. If you are one of the little guys, you don't know everything that could possibly happen. You're still learning. You are most likely still learning a lot of stuff, and you are obviously going to be overwhelmed by having to learn so much of this stuff. We've all been there. That's fine. But write your goals and be general about it, because if you try to get specific, something is going to happen to where, hey, I can't do it this specific way, so I have to do it this way. So, if something like that occurs, like my situation, you want to update your goal. If you made the mistake of being specific, update your goals to something more general. Just so you know, hey, this was the main goal. This was the main thing right here. Even if it didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, it still got done. I was still able to do it. So, update your goals when things end up happening. Now, another thing you should be doing is every day you want to review your goal. Do something that day. Every single day. Take a baby step towards that goal, because those baby steps are going to add up real quick. And that is how you're going to be able to achieve those goals. Number 2 is going to be exercise. Now, exercise is very important. Not just because of the fact that you're going to save money. Not just because of the fact that, oh, you need to be physically fit. No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. When you look at the bare bones of it, it has nothing to do with that. These rich people and these successful people and all that, they exercise because when they exercise, they get relief from negative emotion. You can only imagine how much negative emotion is put towards them for making one small mistake in the team. And then you could have fans after you and whatnot. You know, it's just a whole bunch of negative emotion. Maybe have something going on in your private life. Who knows? But you're relieving yourself of that negative emotion. And afterwards, you have a boost of confidence. That boost of confidence is what's going to help you to get through the day. It's going to be your main motivation. Just because you're more confident in yourself, you're going to be more likely to do stuff. Rather than just sit there and be all like, oh, well, this is a real difficult problem. No, you're going to be confident enough to say, hey, I can do this. Why can't I? Let me go and try and do it. Now, another thing with exercising is actually a small way. Well, it's kind of big for some people, but it's a small goal that you're achieving. And when you achieve it, you're saying, hey, I did this. And I'm going to do that with my business. And that's where the boost of confidence comes from, because you actually finished what the goal was, more than likely. And even if you didn't, hey, at least you got as far as you did. Try again tomorrow. It's perfectly fine. Not everybody gets to the same point at the same time. Some people have advantages, some people have disadvantages. But basically, exercising is a very good example of achieving your goals. Number 3 is going to be meditation. Okay, so meditation is something that I really, really wanted to touch up on. Here's why. When I didn't meditate, I would be overwhelmed at the end of the day. Even though I was exercising, even though I was doing these goals. Meditation took it to that next step. It helped me to get in a tranquil state for so and so amount of minutes. I started with 5. Just to make it small so that I could get everything done for the day. I'm trying to boost it up to 10 and it's kind of messing me up. But that's fine. Like I said, not everybody gets to the same point at the same time. Disadvantages and advantages. But the reason why you should be meditating is because with meditation, you're not just relieving yourself of your emotions. You're also relieving yourself of your thoughts, because you're just focusing on your breathing. That's all you're doing. You're literally just focusing on your breathing. And that allows you to clear your mind, to clear, like I said, clear your mind, which helps to clear your emotions out a lot better. And on top of that, it's actually very calming, which is much needed for most people who were in the baby stages. That's something that's very important. Make sure that you're calming down and whatnot, because a lot of us get anxious because there's a problem that we can't solve, and it gets to us and we start getting anxious about it. Number 4, which is going to be reading. Now, reading, when you start reading, if you haven't done this yet, start reading interesting books just to get yourself in the habit of actually reading. Now, the reason why I say reading is an important thing is because most successful people read around 50 books in a year, whereas the average American reads about 1.5 books in a year. So that's something to think about. When you really take that into perspective, you can really see the difference, because what reading allows people to do is, if you start with an interesting book, it really doesn't matter the book, but when you start with an interesting book, what you're allowing yourself to do is escape your reality, take yourself out of that, and then put yourself in this one, and then it's almost like TV or internet, but it doesn't hurt your eyes, and it doesn't exactly hurt your brain. But reading interesting books will allow you to get into the habit of actually reading, whether it be at a certain time or just generally when you have some free time or whatever the case may be. Then, once you've gotten into the habit of actually reading these interesting books, try to move into industry-related books. The reason why you should transfer over to industry-related books is because this will help you in your career. It will actually help you to think about some of these things. Now, what I'm doing personally is I'm trying to mix the first two by reading industry-related books that are also interesting to me. They're not necessarily real, but it's a good way to help me to get into the step of, this is a very specific industry that I want to read about. And then what you do after that is you bump yourself up to self-help books, which is the main thing that most successful people read, is self-help books. And by the way, when I say industry related, I mean that book is surrounded around a subject that has to do with the industry that you're trying to be successful in. That's what I mean by industry-related books. Five, which is routine. Now, routine is something that I've touched up a lot on the channel. But the thing about a routine is everybody has a different time that they are most productive in. This is where your routine should be. For most people, it's somewhere in the morning to early afternoon. Once it hits that 3 o'clock mark, most people are exponentially less productive throughout the day. Now, the thing about that is you have to know yourself to be able to know when your routine should be. For example, most successful people are morning people, and they are usually doing it right when they get up, just to get one type of thing out of the way. So, for example, there's morning routines and then there's evening routines. Most successful people have a morning routine rather than an evening routine. If you are more productive during the later hours in the day, what you might want to do is have an evening routine before you go to bed. But most people that are successful have a morning routine. So that was it for this one. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave a comment down below how you felt about it. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you hear about all the updates. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.